This is Patricia Branco, and welcome back to Door Talk.
You know, Dana had showed you guys a board lock or cylindrical lock. You got a lever lock like this. This is cylindrical, or it's a cylindrical lever lock. The prep on it is just it normally is called a 161 prep or a 61L depending, which is a hole with the post on it. Your standard commercial locks normally are, the back set is 2 3/4. Does anybody know what the back set is?
2 3/4.
Well, I mean, do you know what a back set is?
Go up to the center of the line.
So, correct. Here's your door. So you have your lock prep hole right here, and here's where your latch is. So your back set is from here to the center of the hole, basically. So your standard is 2 3/4. Residential normally is 2 3/8. So a lot of times what we'll have in the field, we'll have somebody say it's just your standard lock. Well, the door industry, there's not a standard. The word we use in the door industry the most is depends. It depends, because it does. Every bit of your hardware depends on your door, or do you have a fire rated opening? Like Dana said, hurricane rated. It depends. So our standard depends on what you need. So your standard commercial door is that 2 3/4 back set. We have a lot of people who the doors are 1 3/8 door. They're not 1 3/4, but they're prepped with a lock that's 2 3/8. So we go out in the field and try and use a 2 3/4 back set lock. It's not going to work. So we have to go and get another latch or something like that, which is always a pain when it's something that simple out in the field and you're 2 hours away. You got to make a 2-hour drive for a simple little latch that you could have just thrown on your truck but didn't know it. So then also you've got, which I don't know if this one's probably got one in here. Let's see here. This is a standard ASA strike plate. This is what This is what most of your strike plates are going to be, is your standard ASA. Now, this is for a cylindrical lock. Sorry, man, I got to move. So, what's the difference between the mortise and the cylindrical that you can see right off the bat? It's cut completely out. Some of them are only cut to here, so this will be solid and this will be cut out. Because your mortise lock, this is a mortise lock, right here. So your mortise and latch will sit lower, not centered with the ASA strike, it will sit lower. So it'll sit at the bottom of it. So your latch, that latch is completely cut out for that. And this one has a deadbolt, which is why the latch was completely cut out, because it's for room for the deadbolt and that, like right there, like that. So the reason this is a mortise lock, what the difference is, your door has a mortise pocket. See how the whole pocket's cut out? This slides in the door, and your holes are prepped here, so all your internal everything is just slid in. Mortise locks are a lot more expensive than cylindrical locks, but a lot more secure. They normally don't break as easily, but if you take one apart, me and Matt back here can attest that you have to be very careful, because every spring in this whole thing, in this casing, will go like that. So if you ever do have to take one apart, be careful. But this is a mortise lock, so mortise, cylindrical. Both of them, they make electrified. Both of them can have wires coming out with solenoids in them that unlock the handle. And which you guys haven't ran into those yet. Most of yours have just been with electric strikes and stuff like that. So now, talk about the really fun stuff. Your panic devices. This is a Von Duprin. I think this is the 98. The only difference between the 98 and 99 is 99 has grooves on it. Yeah, so this is a 99. Yeah, it has like that. It has. That's the only difference. That's it. 98, 99. So exit devices. I'm not going to touch so much on the reason why you have to have them because doesn't pertain to you guys as much. But let's talk about the different types. You have RIM. This is a RIM panic exit device. The latch is right here, so this makes it a RIM panic. Then you have surface vertical rod exit devices. Then you guys have seen those where it has the rods going up and down on the exterior of the door, and you've had a lot of fun with them. So surface vertical rods, you want to have dead on. You want to have them on. Because if not, you know by being out in the field and doing one, so you have it like this and it's crooked a little bit, those rods aren't going to move because they're bowed. If they're bowed, they're not going up and down. They have to be palm level square. Then you've got concealed vertical rods. Those are the ones that the rods are inside the door. Yeah, the rods are inside the door, so adjustments and stuff like that, you have a little bit of adjustment on the top and bottom of the door, and some, like the 9827 is the 27 is not the concealed. I can't remember. What's the concealed, Matt?
9847.
9847 is concealed. And it has a set screw right here that you can loosen and then make adjustments for your rods also. But if you're really far off and you're putting the rods in the door, and Jesse and Mike can attest to this, you got to make sure that rod length is right. Right, guys? I mean, you got to make sure it's right. You guys have also messed with storefront doors with the concealed vertical rods too. There's probably 101,000 different types of storefront exit devices and brands out there. I mean, there's the kinds that you're just never going to find. Whoever the door manufacturer got it from was somewhere in China. I mean, but your most common that we see is Jackson, Conair, Adams right? Doormatic, yeah. Falcon.
First choice,
And Doormatic is now Falcon. So a lot of their stuff has moved over. So those 1461 exit devices you guys have to have for the with the 914 power supplies, those storefront doors, those used to be Doormatic. They're now Falcon. So
the aluminum doors that you guys mentioned, so it's not real.
the aluminum. So
Falcon's called Doormatic, and so that whole Doormatic line with the Falcon.
yeah.
7 years ago.
They kept their same numbers, but it's just Falcon now.
No, but I meant the hardware itself. You were saying there's such a variety out there. Is that because those are the aluminum doors as opposed to
Correct.
standard, ANSI standard?
Like we said, aluminum doors don't really have a set.
Every state has their different regulations
Yeah.
when it comes to aluminum doors. Like here in the Panhandle, their aluminum doors still have to meet Florida building code. So here in the Panhandle, we don't fight against it as much as y'all might out in the field where y'all are. Now, older stuff, like for example, on the colleges down the street, if their buildings are over 20 years old, we fight this battle all the time.
Yep.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
So something newer, and I say newer, it's been out a little while, but it's one of the newest things, is the concealed vertical rod, but with cables. So instead of having the actual metal rods, it's cables. And I would like, if Jesse, hey Jesse, you've dealt with these the most on these cables. They're not the easiest thing, but on another point, working on the door when it's already up, you don't have to, because when you have a surface or a concealed vertical rod and your door's here and your roof is, or your ceiling line's like right here, how are you going to get that out if you have to work on it? You have to take the door off. With the cables, you don't have to take the door off because it's cables, so you can pull that piece out, and then now it's not saying it's super easy, but you can put it back in there without having to take the door down. The cables, I think you can do a little bit more adjustments and stuff like that with them. It's just time or place. I know they're not, and again, I will stress to you, they're not the easiest thing. We've used them on hospitals, I think, the most is what I've seen them at. And we do them here in the shop, before they go out. But it is something they have. It's an option they have. They have cables, concealed vertical rods. So concealed vertical rods, again, you just want to make sure, for one thing, door measurements on those are very important, because if it's we've run into this before, if it's an 8-foot door and I don't know it, I'm sending you 7-foot rods, because it's going to need a rod extension for an 8-foot door. It's going to need that extension rod. That's another thing. When you're doing any kind of surface vertical, or either your width or your door, you do not, which this is the most common thing we run into. Somebody runs in and says, I need a fire-rated exit device, just whatever you got. Okay, what size is your door? Standard. Okay, well, 4.0, 3.0, 3.5, who knows? We sell them a 3-foot device. They put it on. They go, this looks kind of weird, and the fire marshal wouldn't pass us. Really? Why? He said it didn't meet the requirements of being the push pad had to be a certain length of the door. This is a 3-foot exit device for a 3-foot door. It is not 3 foot, but it's for a 3-foot door. A 4-foot exit device is going to be a lot longer. We see people put 3-foot on 4-foot doors all the time. They try and put that 4-foot device on the 4-foot door. Now, if you get in a bind out in the field and you have a 4-foot exit device and you have a 3-foot door, you can't cut that down and do that. It's going to look weird, but you can do it. So, but don't put a 3-foot device on a 4-foot. Just let that just be something that sticks with you. So let's move on to the electric hardware, which you guys love so much. There's so many different configurations of electronic hardware. See you, man. So you guys have been using a lot of the command access stuff. I do not have a concealed door loop, but most of you guys know what it is. If you don't, basically what it is it is a door cord that has a fixed in on one end, and it just basically looks like that. Like that. And it goes through the door and in the frame. You drill 5/8 hole on each side, and you bring your wire through the frame, put it through the door loop, put it through the frame, and then put this, whichever side, into the door and feed your wire through. So when you open and close your door, that wire is concealed in between the door and frame. So, huh? Yes, yeah. Something I want to show you guys. I really think you guys could benefit from this. What brand tools do y'all normally have, battery powered wise? Do y'all have normally the same or no?
Brand what?
Brand tools, your battery powered tools.
Various.
Okay. I think they make this for DeWalt, Milwaukee, and Makita. So what this is, Command Access makes this. You put your battery on it, right there. You can adjust your voltage from anywhere from 10.5 volts all the way to 28.7. And you can set it at 24 volts. And it comes with your leads. So all I gotta do is put it here, don't let them touch, of course. Not only that though, another cool thing. If you ever request an exit switch or something like that that's not working, you don't know what's going on, you can test the request to exit with these two. You plug it on the wires and press your exit device or whatever in, and it has a buzzer that'll go off to let you know when it's making contact. Like I said, they make these for the 3 different main tool brands that I know of right now. If you guys want to pass around and look at it, you can. Here you go. All right. Like I said, these are your leads that come with it. Oh, another cool thing. It also comes with most of your generic power supply plugs, like your QEL. It's got all 3 of them on here. So here's your one for your QEL. So you don't even have to, you can just plug it right in. This is your one for your trims, and this one's for your electric locks. It's cool stuff. All right, so let's go into different types of electric hardware. We have the all well-known electric strike. This is just a generic electric strike. This one comes with a 12 or 24 volt plug, so you can do either. It can do 12 or 24 volts. And they make a variety of different types. The most common you're going to see is HES, H-E-S. Most commonly on military projects, that's what you're going to see. Here's what I've seen that I don't care for too much. Putting electric strikes on the outside of a building. Anybody know why you wouldn't want to do that? Well, this type of electric strike. They do make some that are outdoor rated, but what would be a reason? Security. You can stick a flat blade screwdriver in there, and you do it hard enough, you normally can break that solenoid off. That's why I don't recommend using them on the exterior of a building. You're also making the construction of your frame, you're having to cut that frame out. So on the exterior of your building, I just never feel like that's a good idea. The guys who, a lot of people who just do the here and there access control stuff, they'll say, oh, we'll throw the most common things, mag locks, electric strikes, solve every one of your problems. Mag locks are great for their purpose. Electric strikes are great for their purpose. Mag locks, if it's the only thing you can use, of course, use it. The only problem with a mag lock is power goes out and you don't have battery backup and you didn't lock your door down, your door's unlocked. It's wide open. Does everybody know the difference between fail-safe and fail-secure? Everybody's good on that, okay. So when you're going into, what would a mag lock be? Fail-safe. So when power goes out, it no longer it doesn't have power to it anymore. You can get electric strikes, electric locks, most of these things in fail-safe or fail-secure. So meaning, either they have to have power to unlock or they don't. The mortise locks, I think it's Schlage, they do EL and EU. So they do electrically locked and electrically unlocked. They don't say fail-safe, fail-secure. They do electrically locked, electrically unlocked. So if you ever run into that, that's what that means. Do you guys know what request to exits are and all that? Okay. So we don't have to cover that as much. One thing I did want to cover. Here's your power supplies.
We don't use those long.
The Command Access 202B, you guys are familiar with it. So here's the thing, and I'm going to be very carefully, I'm going to tread carefully when I say this, especially with Matt in here. I don't like to recommend putting power directly through your access control system. Some people do it. It depends. I mean, like I said, it depends on what you're doing. If you have your access control board, your output has normally open, normally closed, common. I normally don't like running power because then you have more of a chance of backfeed into your board and blowing your access control board versus having an activation board that you hit, like the relay and the power supply for these. So we've got different types of electronic hardware. Like I said, these electric locks and mortise locks both come electrified. They'll have right here actually is where it goes. There's a solenoid that goes right here, or sometimes request to exit. I can't remember which one goes here, but and then there's a power lead that comes out the top. It comes out here and it's taped. It's zip tied here and it comes out, and then that's where your electrically unlocked and locked your power and stuff goes, and your request to exit and everything. Your electrified lever locks, same thing, looks just like a normal lever lock, but it's going to have wires coming out of it essentially.